Hello, welcome back to our subject, Contemporary World, and we are still in Chapter 1 titled Defining Globalization. So we are done in the introduction, the task of defining globalization, metaphors of globalization, solid and liquid, flows, globalization theories, and dynamic of local and global cultures. And now we are targeting to finish these two topics, which are the globalization of religion and globalization and regionalization. Okay, let's start with the globalization on religion. Globalization has played a tremendous role in providing a context for the current revival and the resurgence of the religion. And today, most religions are not relegated to the countries where they began. And religions have, in fact, spread and scattered on global scale. Therefore, globalization provided religions a fertile milieu to spread and thrive. So now, let's define globalization and religion for you to know this concept. Okay, so what is globalization? So globalization is the networking and expansion of one's local product, beliefs, and practices into universal products, beliefs, and practices, often through technology. And that is globalization. So what is religion? Simply, religion is a collection of cultural systems, belief systems, and a worldviews that establishes symbols that relate humanity to spirituality and to the moral values. And that is religion. Okay? So next, globalization has allowed religion or faith to gain considerable significance and importance as a non-territorial touchstone of identity. Being source of identity and pride, religion has always been promoted by its practitioners so that it could reach the level of globality and be embraced by as many people as possible. Like for example, the Muslims. So they aspire to establish the Islamic Ummah, a community believers na siya. Muna siya ang Islamic Ummah, by paving the way for religious to come in contact with each other and providing a context for their flourishing and thriving, and also the globalization has brought such religions to circle of competitions and conflict. And according to Turner, year 2007 explained, globalization transformed the genetic religion into a world system of competing and conflicting religions. This process of institutional specification has transformed local, diverse, and fragmented cultural practices into a recognizable system of religion. Globalization has, therefore, had the paradoxical effect of making religious more self-conscious of themselves as being world religions. And such conflicts among the world religion exhibit a solid proof confirming the erosion and failure of hybridization and globalization, as cited by Turner, year 2007. It makes religions more conscious of themselves as being world religious, di ba? Now, as being world religions rather, it reinforcing their respective specific identities, and that's according to Turner, year 2000 explained 2007, that he explained globalization as being world religions. Next, these identities are strengthened by globalization and cannot in any way intermingle or hybridize. Since religions have distinct internal structures, their connections to different cultures and their rituals and beliefs contradict. Like, for example, the Islam and Christianity are mostly incompatible with each other. So these religions cannot be hybridized or homogenized, even if they often come in contact. And that is the identities that are strengthened by globalization and cannot in any way intermingle or hybridize. Next, though religion is strengthened and fortified by globalization, it represents a challenge to globalization's hybridizing effects. And the religions the religion seeks to assert its identity in the light of globalization. And as a result, different religious identities come to the fore and assess themselves. And according to Scotty, year 2005, at the same time as being pursued through global channels, assertions of religious identity have, like nationalist strivings, often also been partly a defensive reaction to globalization. Therefore, religious identities constitute defensive reaction to globalization, and that's according to Scotty, year 2005. Okay, next. Scotty, year 2005, transplanetary relations have helped to stimulate and sustain some renewals of anti-rationalist faith, but global networks have more usefully promoted activities involving rationalist knowledge. So contemporary revivalist movements have largely replayed a long-term tendency, one that well predates contemporary accelerated globalization, whereby certain religious circles have from time to time revolted against modern secularism and syntheism. On the other hand, it cannot be said that anti-rationalist qualities ascribed to religion can be the characteristics of fundamentalist and extremist form of religion. And we cannot consider, again, we cannot consider religion as a purely anti-rationalist many religion as a, uh, since many religions, people reconcile reasons and faith and make moderate trends within their respective religions. Okay? And the challenges of globalization to religion link automatically to the challenges of religion to globalization. In other words, while religion takes caution against the norms and the values related to globalization, so it challenges the latter, since ang religion does not approve its hybridizing effects. And that's the end of the topic, the globalization of religion, and I hope that it's clear for you. And if not, then balika watch sa video. So now let's move on to our next topic, which is all about the globalization and regionalization. So in this topic, the process of globalization and regionalization re-emerged during year 1980s. Again, the process of globalization and regionalization re-emerged during the 1980s and heightened after the end of the Cold War in the 1990s. So at first, it seems that these two processes, the globalization and the regionalization, are contradicting. The very nature of globalization is by definition global, while regionalization is naturally religion. I mean, naturally regional, not religion. Okay? Again, regionalization is naturally regional. And now let's discuss the regionalization. So, the regionalization of the world system and economic activity undermines the potential benefits coming out from a liberalized global economy. And this is because regional organizations prefer regional partners over the rest. And the regional organizations respond to the state's attempt to reduce their perceived negative effects of globalization. Therefore, ang regionalism is a short counter globalization. Again, ang regionalism is a sort and has sort S-O-R-T is a sort of counter globalization. And in year 2007 survey, the Financial Times revealed that majority of Europeans consider that globalization brings negative effects to their society, as cited in Jacobi by and Mionier year 2010. And many policymakers and scholars think that globalization must be regulated and managed. Next, we have the regionalization in one part of the world encourages regionalization elsewhere, whether by imitation, like the success of the European single market, or by defensive reaction, such as Mercosur establishment as response to the creation of NAFTA. So what is this NAFTA? So NAFTA is a North American Free Trade Agreement. And according to this, ang regionalization daw and the development of the inter-regionalism would ended be global in nature. And to support this, we have held et al. Year 2005. Again ha, according sa NAFTA or North American Free Trade Agreement, and according sa NAFTA, ang regionalization daw and ang development of the interregionalism would ended be global in nature. And to support this idea, we have held et al. Year 2005 claim that the new regionalism is not a barrier to political globalization, but on the contrary, entirely compatible with it, if not an indirect encouragement. And that's according to Held et et al. Year 2005, page 77. Next. Globalization goes back to when humans first put a boat into the sea. And that's according to Swinney, year 2005, page 203. Again, globalization now goes back when human first put a boat into the sea. And we can understand globalization as the increased flow of goods, services, capitals, and informations across borders. But as we learned from the previous discussion, there are many controversies about and varying definitions of term, and defining regionalization and globalization is complicated. And to define regionalization or region, we have Mansfield and Milner here 1999 defined region as a group of countries in the same in the same geographically specified area, page 2. And according also to Harrell year 2007, again ha si Mansfield and Milner nag-defined region, a group of countries in the same geographically specified area. While si Harrell year 2007 defined regionalization as the societal integration and the often undirected process of social and economic interaction. So in addition of this, sa kanilang mga statements, ang regionalization is different from regionalism, which is the formal process of intergovernmental collaboration between two or more states, and that's according to Ravenhill, year 2008. Ano siya? And that's according to Raven Ina Eagle. Ravenhill, year 2008. According sa iyaha daw, ang regionalization daw is different from regionalism, which is the formal process of intergovernmental collaboration between two or more states. And that's according to Ravenhill, year 2008. Okay, next we have the ASEAN and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, or SCO, are regional organization that seeks string security in Asia through cooperation. So the motivation for the recent regionalization in Asia, as well as other regions in the world, cannot be isolated from one another. It is a complex mixture of factors, and one of the reasons behind regionalism is the concern for security, which is to ensure peace and stability. Okay? And according to Huntington, year 1996, on the contrary, believe that culture and identity guide regionalization. As he put it, in the post-Cold War world, states increasingly define their interest in civilization terms. So according to him, Kang Huntington, year 1996, culture and identity are civilizations. He identified 9 major civilizations, and these are the Western, the Latin American, African, Islamic, Sinnic, Hindu, Orthodox, Buddhist, and Japanese. And Huntington, he urged also that international organization daw, like Mercosur, Mercosur, international organization na ang Mercosur ha. Mo ni siyang spelling. Mercosur. Again, Huntington, he urged that ang international organization nga Mercosur share a common culture and identity and are far more successful than NAFTA or North American Free Trade Agreement, whose member states belongs to a different civilization. I think naka-pronounce ko gayon nag-NAFTA. I'm not sure, but it's not NAFTA. It's NAFTA, okay? NAFTA or what? North American Trade, North American Free Trade Agreement. Okay? Okay. Next, nevertheless, economic motivations are arguably the main motivation behind contemporary globalization, contemporary regionalization. So by entering in a regional organization, ASEAN, Asian states may regain, it's not regain, may regain some control. It's not regain, it's regain. Okay. Again, by entering in regional organizations, Asian states may regain some control over flows of capital and enhance their bargaining power against transitional economic actors such as investment groups or the transnational corporation or TNCS. Okay. So aside from this, the domestic companies may benefit from belonging to a regional market big enough to allow them scale economies while still being protected from global competition. In other words, regional organization, it allows it allows in natural companies the opportunity to succeed in a protected but a big enough market in a way that they would otherwise fail if exposed to global competition. And that's the end of our discussion on globalization and globalization on religion and globalization and regionalization. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you learned a lot from this video. And if not, palihog ko, pakibalik og watch sa kaninga video. Again, thank you for listening and keep safe everyone. God bless us all. Thank you.